Oh yeah, I mean, if you see all these books right, yeah, that's not me, that's my wife. So she told me
Yeah.
all about what's going on. What's up, guys? My name's Ed. This is Marissa, and this is Distant Critics. Now, you guys see the thumbnail. We're talking about It Ends With Us. Now, we just want to let you guys know that this review might contain some spoilers in it. So, by all means, go ahead, see the movie, and come back to this video and leave your thoughts on what you thought about this film in the comment section below. Now, without further ado, Marissa, can you tell us about the plot?
Adapted from Colleen Hoover novel, Lily overcomes a traumatic childhood to embark on a new life. A chance meeting with the neurosurgeon sparks a connection, but Lily begins to see sides of him that remind her of her parents' relationship.
Okay, so Marissa, usually I feel like I'm the one in the movie theaters that knows what's going on with the movie. I'm always 2 steps ahead, but this is the first time I've ever felt like I was the only person in the movie theater that didn't know what was going to happen next, because the entire theater was packed with movie loving book lovers, because this movie is based on the novel Colleen Hoover's It Ends With Us. And yeah, it was a ton of people. How was your theater like?
My theater wasn't full, but it did have quite a bit of people. And then I myself have read the book, so I was one of those book lover type, movie going type person.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you see all these books right, yeah, that's not me, that's my wife. So she told me
Yeah.
all about what's going on. But I think that's perfect because we have the perspective of someone that didn't read the book, and then we have someone in Marissa that did. So we'll start with you, Marissa. What'd you think about this movie? Did you think it was a good adaptation from book to film?
No, for the most part, I think that it was a good adaptation. There were certain scenes where I was like kneeling over like to my husband and was like, no, that didn't happen. Like, that's not how that happened, or this is how it really happened. So there were certain scenes that weren't correct or accurate from the book, but for the most part, it was following the book pretty tightly.
Hmm.
And I do appreciate that. I think this movie is absolutely breathtaking. It's like it stops your heart and then revives your heart again. It was like one of those kind of movies for me.
Hmm.
Just breathtaking, emotional, alluring, just all of those things in the dictionary that you can kind of come up with that go with beautiful and heartbreaking and stuff like that. Blake Lively, Justin, what's his last name? Justin Baldoni, and Brandon Sklenner. I
Hmm.
think that's how you say his name. He plays Atlas. We're just absolutely amazing. And when I was thinking about when I was watching this movie was I wanted to know when I was reading the book what the cast would look like or what these characters would look like. And this ensemble of a cast like fulfilled that for me.
Hmm.
Like I was like, okay, like this is who Ryle is. Okay, this is who Lily is. This is great characters that match the actors. Fantastic
Yeah,
for me.
I really love the casting as well. One of my favorite things that they did is go back in time. And the younger version of Blake Lively looked exactly like her. They even gave her the little mole thing.
Mole.
And they had like the same tendencies, like just the attention to detail that they had going back and forth between the younger and older her. And I feel like there was a lot of purposeful details in this film. I've never read the book, but I can tell like there were certain scenes that were just meant to like go in slow motion, or Blake Lively just taking around the view of what's going on. And I can just only imagine the amount of detail from the book that was also put it on the screen. And so I thought they did a really good job with that stuff as well.
And I agree with what you said. These toxic, hurtful, emotional, and physical abusive relationships are happening right now. Like, this is something that we can't ignore. And I thought for the most part that this movie really followed the trauma into the trauma's perspective and put that out in the forefront for us to see. Right? Because like I said, so many other people have traumas just like this and are dealing with it right now. This film really also shows the resilience of domestic abuse survivors and the courage it takes to have the strength to be able to walk away. We're shaped by our traumas, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. We are shaped by our traumas. And it was cool to see how Lily didn't let her childhood define her and who she was, and didn't let it shape her. And granted, she did make the decision to not stay. I won't say like the whole thing. It's a spoiler movie anyway. So she did make the decision to not stay, but she also had outside contributing factors that helped her with that too. She
Hmm.
had his sister that kind of was like straight up and was like, I'll never talk to you again if you stay with him. And then you had Atlas. And the one thing that I really appreciate about Atlas' character was he wasn't trying anything for her. He wasn't trying to get after her. He
He
wasn't
was
trying to do any
genuinely
of that.
just like he wanted to be there for her.
There.
Hmm.
Yes, he wanted to be that friend. He wanted to be that person for her to lean her head on. And I think that that's like fantastic. And it definitely showed like her love blinded her, which is why everything looked like an accident at first.
Yes, I'm glad you said that. And it's from the, like you said, the traumatic person's perspective, because
Mhm.
again, I don't know anything about the book, and the whole time I'm like, I don't see, besides the dude having too much testosterone, I was kind of on his side, like, okay, that was an accident that he hit her. It was an accident with the stairs, and then to a certain point, it was like, all right, bro, that's on you. And then
Yeah.
finally, when kind of Blake Lively's character wakes up from the abuse, they go back and they show like, no, all those things weren't accidents. And I was like, ooh, like, all right, yeah, the dude's he's not it. So that part definitely got me in the film. I'm glad they showed it from that perspective as well, because it, when people are going through abuses, it's not all what we all think that it's every day is a bad thing, and
Mhm.
they're getting hit every single day. No, there's some good things in there, which is why it's so hard to leave that person, because you see the good with the bad, and you don't want to feel like a victim at points, so you kind of focus on the good, and that's what she was doing the whole movie. And I thought it was a really, I don't know, just a great message for people who are going through it, that like you can reach out to people. There are people around you that do care. And yeah, I thought the movie, just like you said, was a beautiful adaptation.
Think too. I only have one gripe. Just one. Let me put this finger
I got
down.
one
Just
too,
one.
but I'll let you go.
Oh, you do too? Okay.
Mhm.
The only gripe was I felt Justin Baldoni's character, which is Ryle, was holding back a lot at times. It kind of sounds bad for me to say it like that, but I do feel like he was holding back at certain times, because there were some scenes where it was like, oh shit, like he is about to pop off, something's about to go down, and then something like subtle happens, or like when he grabs the phone and then just chucks it on the ground. And I'm just like, I'm not expecting him to like go and like start bashing on her or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying at all. But it's like the writers like reeled him back, and how he can express himself as
Mhm.
the person, as an abuser, because that's what he was portrayed as. So I just feel like he could have done a little more, or gone a little further, or his emotions could have really like popped off a little more.
Yeah, and that's why in the beginning, like I didn't see him as like that bad of a person. Again, besides having too much testosterone and trying to be the big bad dude, he was like a bulky teddy bear at some points, and so I guess I could see like how it was hard for her to leave as well, with the writers pulling him back as well, because we didn't see him do that much of anything.
Mhm.
And it sucks, because like at the end of the day, you do see that this guy, he, in all, he does seem like a nice guy, but he has this past trauma that he still hasn't forgiven of himself.
I have a question. Did you know that when he told the story in the very beginning of the movie, that
No.
that story was going to be about him?
I didn't know that. I didn't.
My jaw was
Yeah.
dropped when I found out. I was like,
The minute they said
Oh.
that the father had a gun, that's when I was like, they don't even have to explain the full story. I already know it's them. But I was like,
Yeah.
damn, like that definitely got me, and I can see how he's harboring all these feelings, and he wants to be that the masculine guy in him doesn't want to let go of those feelings or open up to somebody, and unfortunately that can have an effect in your life relationships as we see through here. So I don't want to say he's a victim, but he to his own struggles, that is like victimish, you know. It doesn't excuse him for the way what he did to her, but you know, you gotta, if you're feeling something, you gotta talk to somebody.
That's why I said we're shaped by our traumas, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Now, I do have one gripe as well. I did feel like the movie was pretty long. I think halfway through the film we were still getting like climbing up the ladder of Lily and Ryle just starting to date, and I was like, damn, are they gonna like rush this movie at the end, because like we still haven't gotten to the part where we see him being bad. So but they didn't rush it. I mean, they took their time with the film. It does feel paced pretty well, slow at some points, but overall, I will say I really enjoyed this film. I do think that this is probably one of the best book to movie adaptations out there, from what I've heard from all the people in my theater giving it a standing ovation, because they were just all over this movie. So for myself, for you guys that love the book as well and the novel, I guarantee you're gonna love the film as well. So yeah, all in all, I do recommend this film. Marissa, do you also recommend this?
I think this is a very beautiful film, so I do give this a huge recommend. Also, help is available for anyone that is in this situation. Please, please, please,
Yeah.
in our bio of this video, we have the number to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. So please utilize the resources if you need help. And as always, we want to thank you guys for joining us today on Distant Critics.
Have a good day, guys.